While politicians in Washington are still haggling over the trivial details of the CHIP Act, a new Beidou has quietly risen on the map of Southeast Asia. The China-ASEAN agreement is no ordinary trade ledger, it's a deep-sea bomb restructuring the world order, with enough power to render all war games in the Pentagon's sand table obsolete. The world has seen clearly in recent years, China never lacks long-term strategic vision. While the US and the West have become increasingly short-sighted and even extreme difference determined by their systems, the China-ASEAN Free Trade Area 3.0 is earth-shattering. Just how badly have the US and EU lost? On May 20th, a special meeting of China-ASEAN trade ministers was held online, where both sides jointly announced the full completion of negotiations on the China-ASEAN Free Trade Area 3.0. The history of the China-ASEAN Free Trade Area dates back to 2002, shortly after China's accession to the WTO, when it launched the Free Trade Area construction with ASEAN through extraordinary strategic vision. The 1.0 version was fully established in 2010, and an upgrading agreement was signed in 2015 to form the 2.0 version. The current 3.0 version represents another major enhancement based on the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership (RCEP). Statistics show that China has remained ASEAN's largest trading partner for 16 consecutive years, while ASEAN has been China's largest trading partner for 5 consecutive years. In 2024, bilateral trade reached an astonishing 6.99 trillion yuan, accounting for 15.9% of China's total foreign trade. After more than 20 years of integrated development, China-ASEAN trade relations have become deeply intertwined. This is no ordinary trade agreement. Its significance goes far beyond economic cooperation. It represents a complete reshaping of the regional strategic landscape. As those familiar with international affairs know, the US has been causing trouble in Asia for years, particularly by trying to drive a wedge between China and ASEAN. Although the two US parties use different tactics, their goals are the same. During the Obama era, the US spent 8 years painstakingly building the Trans-Pacific Partnership (TPP), whose core goal was to exclude China and create a US-dominated East Asian trade bloc. Many TPP clauses explicitly or implicitly targeted China. If the TPP had succeeded, China's economic voice in the Asia-Pacific would have been greatly diminished. After Trump took office, he abandoned Obama's multilateral strategy of forming cliques, withdrew from the TPP, and instead escalated the South China Sea dispute and hyped up the Taiwan issue, attempting to destabilize China's backyard through military and geopolitical means. But ASEAN countries generally refused to be pawns of the US, and few were willing to truly cooperate even after the regime change in the Philippines. When Ferdinand Marcos Jr. took office and expressed pro-US attitudes, he failed to stir up any real waves. During this period, China has steadily focused on construction over destruction and cooperation over confrontation. Since November 2022, China and ASEAN have quietly launched negotiations on the 3.0 version of the Free Trade Area. After 2 years of negotiations, they officially announced its completion on May 20, 2025. The US's decade-long plot to divide ASEAN has thus been completely defeated. The reasons are straightforward. For China, cooperation with ASEAN is about stabilizing Southeast Asia, consolidating its economic hinterland, and ensuring the security of regional supply chains. While the US and the West try to launch a new Cold War, as long as ASEAN remains stable, China will always have an economic cycle and strategic depth, making external blockades irrelevant. For ASEAN countries, China is their largest trading partner, most important source of investment, and largest source of tourists. Playing geopolitical games with the US not only brings few benefits, but also risks losing development opportunities. Relying on the US is pie in the sky. Relying on China is tangible. No one can afford geopolitics when the economy is struggling, especially against the backdrop of the US-led West continuously raising interest rates and a global economic downturn. ASEAN urgently needs a strong, stable economic partner willing to invest and share opportunities, and China is precisely that partner. So, what does the China-ASEAN Free Trade Area 3.0 entail? In essence, it adds 6 key components to the original framework. Deeper tariff cuts. China will eliminate tariffs on 95% of ASEAN goods and ASEAN will do the same for 90% of Chinese goods. This is how ASEAN became China's largest trading partner since the 2010 Free Trade Area launch. Tariff reductions have drastically accelerated economic integration, bringing huge benefits to both sides. Faster customs clearance. Future customs clearance will be near instantaneous, with optimized processes like pre-shipment inspection for express shipments, ensuring faster release of goods. This essentially extends China's digital customs achievements to the entire ASEAN region, forming a digital foundation for the free trade area. Once this system is established, it will be unbreakable by external forces. Third, digital economy. The electronic payment systems of both sides can be directly connected, covering 2 million merchants. Cross-border e-commerce costs are reduced by more than 30%. At the same time, personal information protection is strengthened, and electronic invoices and paperless trade are promoted. In the future, online shopping and cross-border transfers will be safer and more convenient. This is also very impressive. After this, the entire ASEAN will gradually become a convenient and fast trading environment like ours. Many of our digital business models can benefit ASEAN countries, and they have also seen the huge benefits here. Fourth, green economy. The focus is on China's photovoltaic module exports. ASEAN tariffs have been reduced to 1.5%, and new energy vehicles, electronic appliances and other fields have taken the lead in achieving mutual recognition of standards, etc. The two sides will also cooperate to build many green energy projects, such as floating photovoltaic power stations in Thailand, wind power projects in Vietnam, etc. This is to give the new energy of China's economic development to the entire ASEAN, and of course it will also bring us a huge market. Fifth, support small and medium-sized enterprises, such as providing one-stop customs clearance services specifically for small and medium-sized enterprises, and assisting them in participating in exhibition training. Sixth, protect consumers. In the future, if there are problems with online shopping and tourism consumption, both sides will work together to manage them, such as combating counterfeit goods, handling complaints and other linkage mechanisms, etc. This is what Southeast Asian tourist countries want very much. They hope to attract more Chinese tourists. Seeing these contents, what do you feel? This matter is too important, especially in the current context of anti-globalization and tariff wars. China and 10 ASEAN countries, which are our largest trading partners, have reached an agreement to exempt more than 90% of goods from tariffs. Do you know what this means? This means that the economic integration of China and ASEAN will be further accelerated, just like the nature of the North American Free Trade Area. The North American Free Trade Area has successfully created the basic foundation of the US economy. Now we are tied to ASEAN, which means that our great historical process has begun. In addition, the tariff war is so fierce now, which has actually accelerated the progress of many things. In addition to our free trade area with ASEAN, there is also cooperation with Latin America, the European Union, and even Canada. This is all helped by the Trump administration of the United States. So in the current global environment and background, this matter can be called an epic war. ASEAN has been integrated with us so well in recent years that even the Philippines has to admit it. The United States can't stop it. ASEAN knows very well that whoever can bring them substantial help is the big brother of this region. The EU is jealous, but there is no way. Their 27 member states are too complicated. Some people want to cooperate with China, but there is no way. So for China, this matter means that a new and huge historical process has begun. For ASEAN, it also means that the entire region has gained a historic opportunity for economic takeoff. After this incident, ASEAN immediately arranged to hold the ASEAN-China GCC summit on May 28. After the United States insisted on fighting a trade war, this region couldn't get in even if it wanted to. They completely lost the entire ASEAN. Even if they can negotiate some trade agreements, it is difficult to affect the overall situation. The EU faces complex internal problems and regrettably missed the historical opportunity. There is nothing they can do about it. So on the surface, the big winners of this matter are China and ASEAN, but in reality internationally, both the United States and the European Union have become losers. To put it bluntly, the so-called Indo-Pacific strategy that the United States has been pursuing in recent years is to support Japan, Australia, and India and join forces with Southeast Asia to contain China. However, facts have proved that relying on politics, kidnapping, military threats, and interest coercion cannot stabilize allies, but will make ASEAN increasingly biased towards China. China insists on consultation, joint construction, and sharing, and invests real money in infrastructure, builds railways, ports, and factories to engage in e-commerce. The win-win situation is visible and tangible. The United States conducts military exercises, sells arms, and engages in ideological kidnapping, and allied countries dare not believe it at all. As soon as the 3.0 version of the free trade zone was launched, ASEAN countries naturally saw clearly who is the reliable long-term cooperation partner. It can be foreseen that in the next few years, more and more countries and regional cooperation organizations will follow ASEAN and take the initiative to move closer to China. On the night of the signing of the China-ASEAN agreement, the whistle of a cargo ship in the Singapore Strait sounded long. This sound was very much like the charge during the Normandy landing in 1944. The difference is that this time, what is being rushed is not a torrent of steel, but the code of the digital RMB, the battery pack area of new energy vehicles, and the QR code of the origin certification. Readers should know that the game in today's world is no longer a simple drama of aircraft carriers bombarding each other. While the United States is still using the Cold War mentality to build a high wall of tariffs, China has used the key of the Free Trade Zone 3.0 to open the gate of the post-hegemonic era. This is not the victory of a certain country, but a dimensionality reduction attack by land power civilization on sea power hegemony. After all, what can lock the Pacific Ocean has never been the Seventh Fleet, but the Golden Corridor welded by 1.4 billion people and 600 million markets. Today's program ends here. Friends who like it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Your fingers mean a lot to me. See you next time.